A few years ago on a flight, I sat next to a very beautiful, young-looking lady. She said she was a first-year university student, and it was a beautiful thing. It was an upgrade because usually I sit next to very rough-looking characters who drink beer the whole trip. So now, during our conversation, of course, naturally, you converse with the person you're sitting with, and I wanted to find out what she's going to do to Dubai. She told me she's heading to Dubai because she was invited by her boyfriend, and the boyfriend was throwing a big party for her birthday. But as we were discussing, of course, I got to learn that she made this boyfriend online. And this boyfriend, of course, they were only dating like for the past 6 months, and they had never met before. And man, that sounded a bit fishy. But of course, I could not be intrusive in her life, so we had a discussion. I was like, please be careful out there, and we exchanged the numbers. So a few days later, I tried to reach out to her. Like after 1 week, I tried to to send her a text on WhatsApp to see how she's doing, how was the party, how is she doing with the boyfriend. And there was no response. So I was like, Dubai, birthday party, online boyfriend. I'm like, what do I care? Like a year or 2 years later, so I was just fiddling with my phone, and I was moving some numbers, transferring them from one phone to the next, and then I stumbled on her number. I said, oh wow, I remember this girl. Let me hit her up. I wrote her a message on WhatsApp, and she responded. And when she responded, she said, yes, I remember you. I sat with you on a plane, and I wish you warned me about my trip, because when I went to Dubai, of course, we had this birthday party. I made this my internet boyfriend, but she said so many bad things were done to me, and as we speak, I've been battling one legal issue in Dubai. Today, I want us to discuss how young attractive young ladies are used as drug mules or as drug traffickers. They are called the drug mules. That is the jargon. And this comes on the heels of what has been trending in the news. There's a lady from Kenya who was supposed to be hanged in Vietnam. And when this news was circulating, a Kenyan leader put up a list of how many Kenyans have been hanged in different countries because of trafficking drugs. And out of the 10 people, all of them were young females between the age of 19 and 37. And that was very heartbreaking. Now, I'm not saying that only young girls are used to traffic drugs. I'm not saying that only females are being used to traffic drugs. No, even men, even boys are used. But most of the time, it is young ladies who are being used to traffic these narcotics. So let us look into this, and let us try to make sense exactly of how this happens. How do they join? And if a girl is deep into drugs, into narcotic trafficking, and they want to come out, why is it so hard for them to come out? But what can they do for them to be able to be free from this vice of narcotic cartels? But also, what lessons can we draw from all this madness that is happening around narcotics and this dangerous world of drugs and drug trafficking? So I want you to understand, first of all, nobody makes a conscious decision to join drug cartels. No one wakes up one day and say, when I grow up, I want to be a drug trafficker. No, that's not what happens. None of these girls who are being hanged, none of these girls who are involved in drug trafficking woke up one day and they said, I'm going to do drug trafficking as a career. So how do they join? Some of these young ladies are lured by their friends, people they trust. And this is what happens. You find that someone has a friend who's doing very well, is wearing designer clothes, is carrying designer handbags, is using the latest iPhone, and then they go to their friend and say, "Hey, my sister, you're doing very poorly. Surely life can be better. I can show you how to create wealth and how to get cash." And when these people are talking, they are very good motivational speakers. They show you exactly how things are doing very poorly for you and how much things can be better if you join them. Now, when you are joining, you don't know exactly what they do for a living. It's only when you get inside that you discover, oh my God, some criminalities, some illegalities, some shady dealings are happening here. So that is one way these girls join. Number two, this is exactly what we said in our opening story. Some of these girls are lured into drug trafficking by their boyfriends. Now, most of these boyfriends happen to be internet boyfriends. Now, I want you to understand, the moment someone tells you that I have a boyfriend on the internet, the moment someone tells you I'm dating someone on the internet, you need to understand that that is a red flag. In the moment you discover that someone close to you, your daughter, your sister, your niece, if you have a young girl who's telling you that they have an internet boyfriend or they made their boyfriend on the internet, they are dating on the internet, it's a no. It's a red flag, and you have to discourage that from happening. Most of these guys, of course, they are multi-millionaire, or at least that's what they say they are on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, on X. They say, I'm a multi-millionaire because I have businesses. But I want you to understand, anyone who cannot tell you what business they do, because every business has a name. Every business has a name. So if someone cannot explain to you in one word what business they do, because every business has a name, so you can say, well, I own a barbershop, I'm into cleaning services, I'm into pharmaceuticals, I'm into multimedia, well, I'm a doctor or I'm a lawyer. If anyone cannot explain to you in one word what business they do, just start questioning businesses. That is very vague. That is too vague. Okay, well, I know there are some people who will say, but come on, dude, people might own multiple businesses. Of course you can own multiple businesses, but what are they called? Because if I was to be dating someone who lives in Dubai, someone who's in Saudi Arabia, someone who's in Oman or Jordan, I will need to know what kind of businesses are you into. Are you into petroleum products? Are you exporting cars? Every business has a name. So the moment you hear somebody say, I am doing businesses, and that's exactly how most of these girls are lured by this internet boyfriend. So as a rule of thumb, thou shalt not have internet boyfriend. Now, another way girls are lured into these drug trafficking businesses, you feel that there are these wild parties, these super rich parties. You feel that there's a party where millionaires are splashing, they're splashing monies on girls. And most of these university girls, of course, because these are people who are exposed, these are people who have phones, they can see what is going on out there. They see, oh, my friend went to this roof party in Dubai, she came back with an iPhone 17 Pro Max. Which number is iPhone now? I don't even know which number is which is the latest number. So during this party, some of these girls are filmed or they are recorded in very compromising positions, and they are blackmailed. When they wake up, they're told, okay, listen, you have to do A, B, C, D, because if you don't do this, we are going to leak these videos online. Your friends are going to see these videos, your mother is going to see this, your father is going to see this, your priest is going to see this, your teachers are going to see this. So when that kind of blackmailing is happening, you have no option but to oblige, because you are like, hey, I cannot taint my image this way. And by the way, most of these girls who are recruited in these drug rings, most of them are very innocent girls. Now, another way young girls are lured into drug trafficking businesses, usually some of them are lured by mature looking men, mature caring men. So this big man with a Range Rover or with a Land Cruiser, this very super wealthy man approaches them and says, I want to be your sponsor, I want to help you with your education, I want to help you back at home. And because you were struggling, and probably most of these girls, when they manage to go to school, to university, of course, some of them, they are taking care of their family. Some of them are also taking care of their siblings. Their siblings are looking up to them. Nobody can resist that kind of offer. Now, this person comes as a father figure, and you're like, okay, this is an angel sent from heaven to help me. Now, this man is going to help you for the first 1 month, the second 1 month. It could even be a year. This man is going to volunteer to help you, and they are going to spoil you. They are going to throw birthday parties. They are going to buy you stuff. They will give you their credit cards to go and do shoppings. But eventually, they are going to tell you, please, I've been spoiling you. I've been taking care of you, but I need a favor from you. Please do this for me. I have a small bag that you have to take for me in London. Take this small bag for me to Singapore. Take this bag for me to Vietnam or to China. Only for you to go through the scanners in China, they discover that you are carrying 1 kg of cocaine, 1 kg of heroin, and some of the things that you can never imagine that would be on your person. So this is another way that young girls are lured. Now, there are several other ways that girls end up, of course, in these drug cartels or in this drug system. But what you need to understand is that usually what drug traffickers, what drug cartels, what the narcotic system, what the narco system wants is to trap you in their system. The moment you enter, it becomes so hard for you to be able to come out. It becomes so hard for you to quit. Why is it so hard for someone to come out? Because you can say, okay, fine, you went there, of course you went to see this your boyfriend, you discover this your boyfriend is a drug trafficker, is a criminal, but why is it so hard to quit? Because if you're not willing to be there, I mean, you should quit. You should just go back to your life. But it is not that simple, because quitting these drug rings or these drug cartels, it means you are putting your life in danger. And not only your life, you're putting the lives of those who are involved in your life in danger, your relatives, your friends, your family and friends. Because first of all, you cannot become a snitch, because these people, they will kill you. They will threaten to kill you the moment you threaten to quit. Or if they don't kill you, they will blackmail you. They will threaten to kill your child if you have a child. They will threaten to kill your mother. They will threaten to kill people who are close to you. So it becomes so hard for you to come out. But another thing you need to understand, of course, some of these girls, the moment they join these drug cartels, the drug traffickers make sure that they hook them to this product. So you find that someone is already addicted. If you quit, you cannot afford that heroin. If you quit, you cannot afford that meth. If you quit, you cannot access that cocaine. So for you to be able to get your daily fix, you have to be in the system. So it becomes so hard for some of these people to come out. Now, why are we talking about young girls? Why exactly are we not talking about boys? Or why the drug trafficking cartels, why do they specifically target small young girls, especially young, beautiful university girls? And these are the reasons why girls are vulnerable. These are the reasons why girls are a target. So now this one is a no-brainer. Young girls, young, beautiful, attractive girls, most of them look very innocent. You know, that innocence, that face, that innocent face, it makes it so hard for anyone to suspect that this person could be carrying drugs. Now think about this. If you are on a police line and someone is trying to identify a criminal at random, and I'm standing here and then there's this beautiful girl standing next to me, who do you think they're going to pick out of the line if they are supposed to, you know, if they bring just a stranger and say who looks like a criminal? Of course I'm gonna be picked out because I already look guilty. You know, there are these people who have a face, there are these people whose face looks guilty until proven innocent. No matter what you say, you look guilty. So even when the police are apprehending people, they will never come for this young, beautiful, innocent looking person. They always have to go for these rough faces. Sad but true. Number two, when drug cartels, when the narco system is looking for drug mules, they understand the psychology of human body. Now I want to understand, females have a lot of private parts. Okay, that does not sound right. We know the normal private parts for a female body, but the way things are today, any part you touch, you cannot touch the hair of a girl and it's not, you cannot touch the hair of a girl and it will not look like a sexual assault. You cannot touch the fingers of a woman. You cannot touch the neck of a woman. You cannot touch the toes of a woman, leave alone the normal no-go zones. Any part of a female today is a private part, and if you invade that private part, of course you're going to be taken in for sexual harassment or assault or whatever. Now the cartels understand how private a female body is, so before you can even think about searching a female body, you have to be very careful. And most of these people get away with so many things because of how private or how sensitive a female body is. Now let's go back to that line again. If you are supposed to be searched and I'm standing here and then there's a beautiful young lady standing next to me, you have to understand, I will be turned upside down. They are going to search me everywhere. They will poke my nose, they will go in my mouth. Every orifice on my body is going to be searched. But for a woman, that has to be done very carefully. It has to be done with decorum. In fact, they are going to bring a specialized task force to search this young lady, and this force must be only females, and these females should not be lesbians. So before you can invade the privacy of a woman, there's a lot of roadblocks, there's a lot of no-go zones, there's a lot of restrictions, and drug cartels understand this, so they prefer to use young girls as their drug mules. Now another problem, of course, that may lead to young ladies being used as drug trafficking people, it is because of something called impressionability and manipulability. Now young girls, of course, young girls who have not touched money, you are only 19, you just got in university, but you see, you live in the city where you are seeing where you are seeing girls being dropped by Range Rovers, you are seeing your friends going to parties, you are seeing your friends flying to Dubai, and when you meet someone who says they can do the same for you, you become so impressionable. You are easily impressed by material things. Now that impressionability, that gullibility, that manipulability is what drug cartels understand. So they know if you can maximize on this, we are going to trap as many girls as we can in the system. It's a sad reality, and I hope really something can change so that we can save as many girls as we can. Another issue that leads to girls being lured into these drug trafficking rings, of course, it's bodily needs. Like I was saying that the female body is very special. It is special all the time. Now, the needs of a man are very different from the needs of a woman. I remember one day we went for a camp, and when we were at this camp, we had water shortage. And they said, guys, we have no water. And I remember every female participant was panicking. So we could not understand what is the panic about. But when I thought about it again critically, I realized that, you see, females have special needs. For example, a female cannot afford to go for more than 24 hours before they birth or before they freshen up. Now, me and my guys were like, okay, what is the whole about? We can go for 48 hours without bathing. I mean, as long as we have water to drink and to cook, what is this? But you see, female needs, and these young girls, they have needs. Of course, they need, their sanitary needs have to be catered for. Now, if you don't have money to cater for some of these things, of course, that's how most of these people are lured into these criminal activities, by splashing money, by dangling money in front of them and telling them, you can have whatever you need. You can have the perfume, you can have the roll-on, you can have the cologne. There are so many things that I do not even know how to pronounce, because if you speak to your girlfriend or if you speak to your teenage daughter, they will explain to you exactly what those needs are. But because of these bodily needs, and most of these young girls cannot afford them, they find themselves lured into these drug trafficking rings so that they can afford these things that we can call basics. So that was talking to lack of money or hardship not to access the basic needs that a young lady needs. But you can challenge me and say, hey, we have seen so many people who are hanged, or we have seen so many people who are sentenced in prison, and these were from rich families. These are children who do not need those basic needs that you're talking about. Yes, another issue that also affects these young ladies. Okay, there's lack of money, but also there's greed for money. You want more. You want to challenge your friend. You want to look like so and so, or probably you just want more. You are greedy. You want money. So because of that greed, people are not contented with what they have. For wanting more, they join the drug trafficking rings so that they can have more, or they are lured or seduced into joining these criminal activities to have more out of greed. So greed is also a factor. But also we cannot ignore another factor, which is social media. Social media pressure. Social media has put so many people under pressure. You look at your friends that you went to high school with. You look at most of them, they have built the houses. You look at some of them are driving very beautiful cars. Others are living abroad, and whenever they post something on Instagram, you're like, oh my God, who cursed me? So there's that pressure of trying to measure up to your friends, to your other people. But also, lastly, maybe another big issue that I cannot fail to talk about, and every video, whenever I have a chance to talk about this, I'm going to hammer it home. There is also poverty of dignity, lack of dignified opportunities, lack of thriving environment, lack of enabling environment for people to thrive and do business. If some of us, of course, if some of these young people, some of these young ladies, if they had opportunities, if they had alternative to these cartels, alternative to these criminal activities, alternative to prostitution, most of them will not do it. Some of these people don't go there because they are bad people. They are there because there are no options. So if our governments, if our precious leaders, if they can focus on something else other than themselves and other than how they can amass wealth, if they can focus on creating environment that create opportunities that bring all these young people and give them something better to do, of course we will not have our young people being hanged in Vietnam, in Singapore, in Malaysia, and these Asian countries. So poverty of dignity, lack of option is also one of the big factors that we have most of our young people entering into these very dangerous, very murky territory of drug trafficking. So what are the lessons that we can get from these trending news about drug trafficking, girls being hanged? And one of the major lessons, of course, I will say this every time I have a chance to say it. One of the lessons that we have to learn is that when you join drug trafficking rings, when you join the narco system, it will never end well. Look in history, look in textbooks, look in documentaries, watch the news. No matter who it is, whether you are a big man, whether you are a small man, whether you are the biggest drug lord like Pablo Escobar or El Chapo, it will never end well. One, if these drugs that you are trafficking, if you are not arrested and put away, if you're not hanged, you may be hooked to these drugs and you become an addict, which is a problem. Or you can have some internal problems in the system where people are hunting each other, or probably something goes missing and you end up with a bullet in your head, or you are trying to quit and then you are being threatened, your family is being threatened. So either way, the moment you involve yourself in these drug cartels, in this drug trafficking business, it has never ended well for anybody. So that one is a no-no. Number two lesson that you need to understand, I keep saying this almost in every video now, it's becoming like a national anthem for me. Every shortcut that you take for money is going to cut you short. Every money that comes quickly, it will either go quickly or it will take you quickly. Every shortcut money will cut you short. And whenever you have money that you have obtained quickly, that you have not suffered, that you have not sweated for, you have to stay away from things that come very quickly, from things that you have not worked hard for. That's one lesson that we can take from the whole thing. I think another lesson that we can learn from here, this one goes to the government, this one goes to the leadership. I mean, how does it make you feel when you have your own people being hanged abroad, when you have your own people being judged in the Asian countries and they are sentenced to death simply because your corruption has failed your people, your corruption has failed the young people? What do you feel and how does that make you feel? So it's a lesson to the government. So government and leadership, please, I want you to understand that the world does not revolve around you. You have a whole population who has put you in charge so that you can take care of them. So please utilize the people's resources, utilize people's taxes to create opportunities to lift people from poverty of dignity, financial poverty, and make sure that we don't have our young people dying abroad because you have eaten all the resources and you have gobbled up every other resources available. This one is a big lesson that our governments must take into consideration. Now let's talk lastly, let's talk about how can someone come out of this drug system. So you've been there and you have seen all these dangers. Probably you're already addicted, but you are trying to quit. Now I want you to understand, unfortunately, options are so limited, because if you are deep into drug trafficking, if you're deep into these drug cartels, the moment you even think about leaving, they will suspect it and they are going to get rid of you. If they don't get rid, if you manage to run away, of course they will be hunting you. They will be hunting you down. They don't want their secrets to lead to the authorities. They don't want their names lead to the authorities. So of course you are in danger either way. But here's what you can do. The first thing you can do is to find someone neutral, someone, either a friend, someone or from your family, someone who's not known by the drug cartels. Let them know exactly how you are suffering. Let them know exactly what you're going through. Let them know that you're trying your best to come out. Let someone somewhere know what is happening to you. But just make sure this is a very neutral third-party person. And this is the person now who can go to authorities for you. Now, depending of course on where you live or where you are, we've seen like in the USA, people have been put in protective custodies. People have been given different identities or new identities altogether. So I mean, there are so many things that can be done, but for whatever has to be done, someone has to alert the authorities, and that person cannot be you or someone who's known in your circle by the cartels. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do, and of course I believe this is the best option for you, you can pray to God for God to create a miracle for you to come out of that system, for you to come out of that mess. And you're like, okay, but that does not look like a very viable option. My friend, we do not understand how God works. God is the one who does his own things. Maybe God is going to kill the drug lord. Maybe God is going to expose the drug ring and you'll be saved. So either way, your best chance to survive is to ask God for intervention. So I believe that one is something that one can be done, and you don't need anyone or anybody to do that. You just have to be in your corner in your room, and then you start praying to God and say, God, please help me to come out of this system and create a miracle, create a way for me to be out of this mess. So I want you to go in the comment section. I want to hear your comment. Do you have any experience with drug trafficking? Do you know someone who's been involved with drug trafficking? Do you have someone who's been sentenced or probably executed in an Asian country over drug trafficking allegations or conviction? I mean, you know, I would really love to know what people think. And the ways that you are talking about that the girls are sucked into the drug system. Are there any other ways that I have maybe not highlighted in this video? Please go in the comment section. Let's have a conversation. I also want to be educated, but above all, I really want to appeal to young people, to our young ladies. You people, you need to understand, money is not everything. You may be poor, you may have so many problems, but at least you are alive. At least you have a clean name. At least you are not addicted. Please stay away from things that are glittering online, and above all, stay away from your online boyfriend. If you have an online boyfriend, my advice to you as an elder brother, my advice to you as a person who deals with youth mentorship is this: block that person, delete that person, save yourself a lot of trouble in the future. Of course, I cannot finish this video before I thank everybody who's subscribing to our channel, before thanking you who is supporting us. If you have not subscribed, of course, this is your opportunity. We would love to have you as a subscriber. And if this video has added any value to you, please subscribe and like the video. Also, share it with your friends so that we can all grow up together, so that we can all cultivate this winning mind that we keep talking about. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again in the next video. Bye bye.